It's important to prayerfully consider the question, Lord, what do you want me to translate? Where should I start? First, think about this. What is the initial reason that many people even want to translate a sermon or a clip? Well, it's because the Lord used that in their life to wake them up to something in the spiritual realm. And now they want to take that clip and get it in their native language so that other people, their friends and family, can now hear that clip and be impacted in the exact same way that they were, right? I mean, that's a big reason people get into translation work, out of love for people's souls that they might hear the truth. And so that could be your starting point. Translate that clip. Start with that one video, that one clip. Here are some other things to consider. You want to find a teaching that clearly preaches the gospel of Jesus Christ to the lost. We can never have too many clips and sermons on the gospel. We want to saturate the internet with clips that deal with justification and regeneration and what Christ has done. Having a right understanding of the gospel and how to be saved, that's vitally important for people in every tongue, who speak any tongue in every tribe and every nation. Another thing to consider is this. What are the main errors and false teachings that are prominent in the language that you're translating something into? That could be something to make your focus on. What you don't want is to translate stuff that just deals with side, non-essential issues. But if there's a lot of false teaching on the doctrine of the Trinity, for example, which is essential to knowing who God is, then you would want to translate resources that help teach biblically what is the Trinity. That deals with an essential issue. And so what are errors and false teachings that are being spread in your language? That could be somewhere to make your focus. Another thing kind of similar to that is this. What are the things that people are searching for on the internet in the language that you speak? What are people typing in? Are they typing in how to get free from lust, or what is it? And you could translate a video that deals with that because you know that's a hot topic in the search engines, and that could get out there where people will run into that. Another thing to consider is this. You only have a certain amount of time. Should I translate a full 60-minute sermon or a 5-minute clip? And obviously that depends on how much time you have. But another thing to consider is the viewer. People are more likely to watch a 5-minute clip compared to a 60-minute clip. Now, the 5-minute clip might encourage them to watch the full 60-minute sermon, but excerpts can be a good way to get evangelistic clips out on the internet as little gospel tracts. And for the translator, it's a lot easier to take your time to translate that 3 to 5 minute excerpt compared to the amount of time it takes to translate a 60-minute sermon. So you don't want to, as we say, bite off more than you can chew. You want to start small and get that clip proofed and really make sure you're learning as a translator before you actually try to translate something that is much longer in length. Another thing to consider is this. It's important to have a clear conscience. And what do I mean by that? Do you have adequate permissions to translate the video and the sermon that you're wanting to translate? And that's important because you don't want to put a lot of time into translation and then you reach out to that ministry and ask them, hey, can I put this on YouTube? And what if they say no, and here you just spent all this time? So you want to get permissions. A lot of ministries out there are now wanting to help people out who are wanting to translate their material in order to reach other languages. So reach out to them. Get a clear conscience with what you're about to do. And so obviously the prayer is that God would use the videos to see people saved, and then these people join to solid churches that they might grow, and then one day some of them will grow and start preaching in their own language, and we won't need translation work. Their sermons in that language will now be out there on the internet for other people, and there won't be a need for subtitles, or there won't be a need for audio dubbing as much in that specific language. But a lot of languages, there are not godly pastors out there who are faithfully expositing the Word, And so people are coming to pastors in the English-speaking world to get their theology. The end goal is that there will be native men there who are able to speak their language fluently and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. So just as a pastor seeks to pray about what to preach on Sunday to the congregation, so should a translator really be prayerful and asking, Lord, what do you want me to translate? I have a limited amount of time. What should I translate? What's going to help people? Lord, guide me. And that's something to ask. And so I just wanted to offer a few thoughts here to help you discern what to translate. Translate that which has impacted you. I mean, your heart's going to be there. You're going to want to put time into it. Translate something probably short, especially for starters. Make sure you're translating stuff that focuses on the gospel and not on non-essential issues. And make sure you're translating something that you have adequate permissions to actually publish, to put out there on the internet. So may the Lord help you all as you labor in this.